Hello again. Welcome back to Gravity Cheeseburger, where I share my life with you a few minutes at a time. I got distracted last night and ended my live early, but that's okay. I want to say this before I go forward. I was trying to think of this last night. I couldn't remember exactly how I put it, but it's in the description of my YouTube channel. Everything I post/upload is in accordance with Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act of 1976, and that it is all for informational and or educational purposes, as well as my own personal opinions, which are protected under the Constitution of the United States of America as freedom of speech/expression. Thank you very much. So, what I was doing just a little while ago was watching a YouTube video from a
Only 1% people
page
can solve this puzzle. It helps to improve your IQ
or channel called TSPLY. I don't know if that's a word or if it's just initials or whatever, but it's covering what has been going on in Columbus, Ohio right now. I'm from Ohio. Yeah, Buckeyes. So it's JD Vance. Just saying. But I heard a few days ago that ICE arrived in Columbus, Ohio, and that they were kicking ass and taking names. At one point in this YouTube video that I was listening to/watching, the title of it is Columbus Federal Agents Call Police for Help - Lawmakers at Protest Against ICE. 1,884 likes, 15,290 views as of 3 hours ago. At some point in this video, the guy who was the narrator, commentator, whatever you want to call him, said that I'm not sure if he was referring to this story or if it was another story, but he said that most of the comments that he saw were people pushing back against ICE, people who were not in favor of ICE. And I'm thinking, well, that's funny because all the comments that I've seen on this particular video, literally the very first comment I saw was in support of ICE. And I got through about, I don't know, maybe 24 comments before I even got to one that kind of alluded to being against it, but they didn't outright, come right out and say, I don't like what's going on. So what I've been seeing in the videos that I've been watching about ICE in Columbus, the vast majority of the comments are extremely supportive of what ICE is doing in Columbus. And I'm like thinking to myself, if so many people are in support of getting rid of illegals, I think it's safe to assume that most of these people, and I'm including myself in these people, if they're against it, how did all those illegals end up in the city? If the people were against it, wouldn't the people vote against lawmakers, representatives, senators, House members, whoever, whatever. If you're holding a political office, I thought you were elected because people aligned with the same views. And I'm like, how are these lawmakers or whatever you want to call these people? Because I wouldn't call them lawmakers. They're not upholding the law for sure. How did they get elected when it's obvious that the vast majority of the people are against a very important issue like illegal immigration, which those lawmakers, I'm just going to call them lawmakers from here forward, for lack of a better term. So the lawmakers are at odds with the people who put them in office. How? I don't understand that. Because quite frankly, I am watching the things that are going on that the Trump administration is doing, and the vast majority of it I am in full support of, and would tell anybody that, yeah, that's what I voted for. That's what I voted for. I voted for getting rid of the fraud in government, the waste, the abuse. Yeah, Doge probably has been relegated to a cliche by now, but I don't care because they still exist and they're still at it, okay? And they're still saving the American people money. And I like that. Because when the American people as a whole save money, when the fraud, waste, and abuse is found out and brought to light and stopped, at some point, a common asshole woman like me is eventually going to start feeling the financial effects of that. Now, I did a lot of praying while old Joe Biden was in office. Did a lot of praying up to and during the election last year in 2024. I did a lot of praying in 2020, around the time of the election. I knew. I just felt it in my guts that that if Joe Biden got into the White House, that things would not be good. And then when I realized that he was actually getting in there, yeah, I just knew it, and I was right. And I know I'm not the only one that felt that way. I'm not the only one who went through that exact same thing in praying that he didn't get in, and then remembering the feeling that they got in their guts when they realized that he was getting in. I'm not the only one. It's statistically impossible that I'm the only one. Now, I know my baby sister has grown extremely impatient with the Trump administration. She is not feeling like she's not oppressed anymore. I get it. I might be right there in the very same boat with her, except I am an optimist. Some might say to a fault. Some might say my optimism is unrealistic, but I don't think it is. And it doesn't bother me that other people do think it is. Um, I was not always a Republican. The first time I cast a vote at age 18, I voted as a Republican. I voted for Ronald Reagan. And quite frankly, um, after I voted for him, I really didn't pay attention to what he was doing. Did not pay attention. I was 18 years old. I was still a kid. I really didn't care. I cast my vote and I went on. Um, when I did pay attention to what Reagan was doing was when he was calling for the leader of the USSR, the United Soviet Socialist Republic, which no longer exists. I believe it was Gorbachev was the leader at the time. And I don't remember what they called him, if they called him a president or a dictator or a leader, a premier or whatever. But I believe it was Gorbachev. He was the leader, and I remembered Reagan calling on Gorbachev to tear down, I believe it was the Berlin Wall. Is it Berlin? Was it Berlin? Somebody tell me. Anyway, yeah, I basically didn't pay attention. Of course, when somebody tried to kill Reagan, I paid attention because I mean that was national news. It was just, and media was different back then. The news was different back then. There was no YouTube, there was no social media at all. Uh, I don't even think rich people had personal computers in their homes at that point in time. So whatever happens, you found out on the 6 o'clock news, and occasionally there was um, a special news report, which I'm sure was the case when Ronald Reagan got shot, where they would go live in the middle of whatever you were watching on television and tell you what was going on and give you whatever information they had. Then they would end it, and then you would go back to whatever you were watching on TV, um, at the point where it would have progressed had it not been interrupted. So, like, for example, if we were watching the $6 million man and they broke in with a special news report that Ronald Reagan had gotten shot, and Steve was just about to jump up the cliff, and we all knew that Steve was injured and he probably wasn't going to make it. When the show came back on and the credits were running, too bad. We didn't know if Steve made it up there or not. That's how it went. And I'm not even sure what my point was in prattling on about that, except maybe, I wasn't paying attention to politics back then the way I am now. And I've definitely got some opinions that I don't mind voicing about politics as a older person. When I was 18 years old, nobody asked me what my political views were or if I even had political views. Nobody asked me if I was a Republican. Nobody asked me if I voted. Nobody asked me if I cared about anything. And these days, it's almost, I don't know. The old saying, birds of a feather flock together. You're not going to find Republicans flocking with leftists. You're not going to find um, supporters of J.D. Vance hanging out with liberals. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's basically what prompted me to come on was just to talk about the the ICE activity in Columbus, Ohio, um, which I am in support of. Get them all the hell out of here. And once they're all gone, and these business owners who will inevitably bellyache, saying, "Now I've got all these jobs that I can't fill." Um, just give it time. Americans will fill those jobs because they're tightening up the regulations on public assistance. And there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to find themselves in dire need of a job. So just be patient. And that'll be nice because then maybe, once we have these good American standards back in practice and people, start to wrap their head around the idea of taking pride in their work, then I know that a lot of the pundits have been talking about how wages have been going up. Well, people at the very bottom, I'm at the very bottom. My sister is at the very bottom. We're not seeing that wage growth because we have the bottom of the barrel jobs. So it's going to take some time for us to see that growth. Here at the beginning of the year on January 1st, the minimum wage goes up to $11 an hour, which means I will get a raise. But as far as I'm concerned, I should have been making more than that by now. 7 years ago, when I was working at the warehouse that is literally right across the street from where I live, I made $11.13 that long ago. So if my wage had increased, at what would be considered a fair pace, since then, as far as I'm concerned, right now I should be making about $14 an hour, maybe 15. But instead, I haven't managed to get back to the same wage that I was at 7 years ago. Thanks, Biden. Yeah, that was his fault. The COVID shenanigans, that was his fault. I lost my job at the warehouse because I pointed out the fact, and it indeed still is a fact, that I did not have to wear their stupid mask. And I pointed out to them exactly where it was in DeWine's, what did they call it? Emergency order or whatever it was, mandate that we had to wear masks. I pointed out because there were special circumstances where you did not have to wear a mask, and one of them was for a medical exemption, which I did not have. But There were conditions under which, if you worked in a factory in an area of the building that was not public and you were 6 feet away from anybody else or more than 6 feet, you didn't have to wear the mask. Well, those conditions applied to me, but I was told that I still had to wear the mask, that they were not going by what the mandate said. So they basically admitted that they were not going to go by what the governor said they had to do, but they were going to do what their corporate office said to do. And there wasn't nothing in the mandate that said that corporate offices could, change the mandate to fit their agenda. Quite frankly, I could probably still go back and sue them for that. Because there was also something, I forget where it was, I think it's the 14th Amendment. It says that I have the right to make medical choices that impact me. And wearing a mask over my face is definitely a medical thing under the circumstances that was said we were supposed to be being protected from the virus. Medical, duh. That was my choice, and they took it away. Anyway, hello, anonymous viewer in the chat. Seems like I always get at least one anonymous viewer. Anyway, I'm going to play this YouTube video, and I'm just going to randomly comment if I feel like it. Goodbye, random viewer in the chat. No, never mind giving me a thumbs up or saying hi or anything. I'm just itty bitty peanuts in the YouTube world. Let's not boost this old woman.
Ma'am, you will get detained. Stay there. Do not move. Stay there.
Okay, so they're trying to arrest someone who is not random. They don't go around snatching just random people off the street like is being said. That's not true. It's a big fat freaking lie. And this woman is filming it with her camera, and she's trying to get in the way, and this officer is telling her to stand back, and she won't listen.
Do not move.
Man, be careful. It's not worth it.
Oh boy. Okay, get ready for this. Now, for those of you that are unaware, Operation Buckeye is underway. This is an operation in Ohio to conduct deportation operations targeting the worst of the worst. But the city of Columbus really seems to be standing out as far as how much pushback
I hope you can hear that.
federal agents are receiving. I mean, check out this brand new news story.
A dramatic crash tied to a pursuit involving ICE agents on the north side of Columbus. This all raises the question, what role does Columbus police play when officers are called to this type of scene?
I mean, we see this in almost every single sanctuary city we talk about. Recently in Columbus, ICE agents were in a hot pursuit. That person crashed their vehicle, and ICE agents called the police in order to take care of the crash scene. Yet people are questioning, hold on, whoa, are they supposed to be working together like that? Oh, and it doesn't end there. Very recently, the city of Columbus...
Well, I'll answer the question. Yes, they are supposed to be working with ICE like that. ICE is law enforcement. Police are law enforcement. They are indeed supposed to work hand in hand. They are not supposed to sit on their hands and do nothing. That's not legal. And somebody doesn't understand the assignment.
This also put out messaging saying we don't work with ICE, and also ICE is in the area. pretty much alerting people that, hey, ICE is here, just so you know. And it doesn't end there either. Just 2 days ago, I pointed out that a lawmaker appeared to be involved with a protest. Well, now it turns out it wasn't only one lawmaker. 3 lawmakers were involved with a protest where ICE agents were sleeping at a hotel and protesters were trying to keep them awake. Yeah, so we have a lot to cover in this video. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. And I think people want to see what is going on in Columbus right now, because I don't think people realize how much pushback there really is in Columbus and with this Operation Buckeye. And we're only getting started. So if this is the beginning, I don't even know what's to come.
There shouldn't be any pushback. People don't understand what they're pushing back against. People who are in our country illegally, no matter where they are, no matter what their nationality is, no matter what country they came from, they're criminals. That's what we call people who break the law. They're criminals. And if they are in our cities, taking our jobs, they're impacting our economy on a local, county, and state level in a negative way, which means they are impacting our lives in a negative way. While the unemployment rate is high in your area, and there's somebody in your area working illegally, what the hell? That makes no sense whatsoever to me. None.
But we're going to cover it, so make sure to please share the video so everyone can see. Only those who have an IQ above mine can solve this puzzle. It helps to improve your IQ level.
And of course, we got to put up with the occasional ad.
Stay away from the... Ma'am, you will get detained. Stay there. Do not move. Stay there. Do not move.
Man, be careful. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
You are aggressive.
Stay there.
I am not in your way. I'm
You
not
can
interfering.
record.
What is
Don't
your
come
name?
closer.
That kills me, how people they don't try, they deliberately get in the way and they say, I am not in your way. What the fuck? What do you think you're being told to get back for? Are you kidding me?
Ma'am, stay back. Okay, so I just want to point out we are seeing more and more clips like this, specifically coming out of Columbus. But again, Operation Buckeye is focusing on the greater area, not just Columbus itself, but other portions of Ohio. So just to clear up some confusion, we're going to be seeing a lot of clips and stories coming out of Columbus when it comes to Operation Buckeye, but that's because the city of Columbus is operating as if it's a sanctuary city. Now, I get asked this all the time.
Now, that's something that I was not even aware of, is that Columbus, Ohio operates as a sanctuary city. Had I known that, I would have shot off an email to DeWine already, asking him what the hell he think he's doing. Because that's bullshit. He works for the people of Ohio, not illegal aliens.
How is it even possible that Columbus can operate as if they are a sanctuary city? Because everyone knows Ohio is a very strong conservative Republican state. Well, here's the thing. Again, it's mainly just Columbus, not the neighboring counties or cities. Columbus, they are the ones acting as if they are a sanctuary city. And
Seems kind of odd to me, because that's the way it appears to be in most of the other states, is the surrounding area, the areas surrounding the capital of the state, are basically Republican and conservative. It's just excuse me, it's just the capital of the states, certain states, not all states, but some, there's a bunch of Democrats, liberals, and leftists concentrated in the Capitol. How does that even work?
By the way, this same exact thing is happening
again.
down in New Orleans with Operation Catahoula Crunch. The city of New Orleans, they're saying we're not going to work with ICE, but all of the neighboring territories and cities, they're all working with ICE or with deportation operations.
Right now at 5, a dramatic crash tied to a pursuit involving ICE agents on the north side of Columbus. It happened Friday morning along Summit Street near East Arcadia Avenue. This all raises the question, what role does Columbus police play when officers are called to this type of scene?
Now, for those of you that have been subscribed to my channel for a while, this sounds like deja vu. Like we've covered stories like this already multiple times on my channel. We keep seeing more and more local police forces either being investigated or accused of working with Homeland Security because Homeland Security calls for help, they show up, and now the police, they're getting possibly blamed for working with ICE. So let's see what's going on.
To you now, this incident was the first time Columbus police was seen working with ICE agents. While city leaders reiterate that CPD does not partner with immigration policies or procedures, I did hear from Columbus Police Union. They say it's very critical to always comply with federal leaders. A Columbus police report shows Friday morning a man was fleeing ICE agents when he pulled onto Summit Street on the city's north side. The man took off, but his car hit 2 other vehicles on the street, including this woman's, who didn't want to be identified.
Yep, and that's it. That is enough for people to question whether or not Columbus Police Department is cooperating with ICE. Now, again, the context is crucial when we talk about why are people even questioning this. Well, we have to remember in Columbus, there is a high alert that ICE is in the area. And this is not even from volunteer groups or protesters. This is straight from the city, and this is also from the Columbus police themselves. I mean, we can just look at
The city and the Columbus police themselves have alerted the illegals that ICE is coming for them.
first slide, feds are conducting operations in Columbus. I know our community is scared right now, but knowledge is power. 2 Timothy tells us God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. And again, I always have to remind people.
God also said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. And another way you could look at that is if your governors, or if your governing body creates a law, you are to observe it. Duh. Of course, you observe the Lord's law first.
We hear a lot about these sanctuary cities, but the majority of Americans don't deal with situations like this. They don't see things pop up about their city, how the federal government is cooperating with the police. That is normal for most Americans. So I just want to point that out. This is mainly a sanctuary city issue, and Columbus acts like a sanctuary city.
Police have made it clear they do not assist with ICE operations, but they were present at this site of the crash, taking a crash report.
Now, see, that's just like what I said earlier. The city police said they do not take part in ICE operations, but they are both law enforcement agencies. So why is it that an outside law enforcement agency, meaning ICE, has to come in and enforce the laws that the local law enforcement agencies refuse to enforce? That makes no sense. If someone is illegal, you shouldn't be looking the other way. They're breaking the law.
agents. By design, nobody has absolute power. There's a reason why you have municipal police, you have county police, state police, and federal agencies, and not one of them is in charge of each other. You have state and local crimes that municipal police enforce, and you have federal crimes that our federal agencies enforce.
But the president of the Columbus FOP told me, regardless of the law enforcement agency, complying is critical.
In 2020, it was we blamed police for all society's failures. Now we're blaming the ICE agent. If anybody has an issue...
Well, maybe if police were getting illegals out of the area, maybe they wouldn't have gotten blamed for all the shit.
With the policy or the law, go ahead and change the law or take it up with the government.
And again, for those of you subscribed to my channel, this is a common theme we keep seeing with sanctuary cities, and this is a key problem the Trump administration has with sanctuary cities. Police departments having to re-explain themselves almost every single time there seems to be a problem because the police were helping out ICE, not with deportation operations, but literally just trying to be police officers. I will give you a very recent example. 2 days ago, on my own YouTube channel, I had to point out that the Portland police, they were attacked by a random individual, but it was within the area of the ICE facility in Portland. And yet, they still had to remind everyone the Portland police does not engage in immigration enforcement as outlined in our directive. So these multiple warnings or letting people know we don't work with ICE, this is not a singular issue we see with Operation Buckeye. We have seen examples like this throughout all of the different sanctuary cities, to include Chicago, Portland, Los Angeles, New Orleans, all of the different cities we've been covering. And the Trump administration, they keep...
And those are major cities. Those are not, rural areas, suburban areas. They are cities.
Reminding people this is an issue. Not so much that there's no cooperation, but waiting for something bad to happen, then you get the cooperation and people still get mad.
Do it. Let's do it. Columbus, Ohio is where we're at.
Hey, Daddy, you're welcome.
So what I'm looking at now is there are people who, I guess they're calling themselves protesters. They're outside of I believe it is a hotel where they believe that ICE officers are lodging, and they're trying to make all kinds of noise to make sure they don't get an arrest, so that maybe they can't perform their job as efficiently as they might under normal circumstances, which is dangerous. They should be prosecuted.
Absolutely. Y'all can't have a conversation in.
Well, I think I'm kind of done listening to that. I'll probably listen to more of it here in a little bit, but not now. That's as much as I want to react to it. But yeah, for those of you who actually know me on a personal level, and I know that some of you watch this channel, even if it's just out of curiosity, I have absolutely nothing against immigrants. But here's the thing. Immigrants are legal. They're legal. It's when they don't do it the right way. That's where I have a problem. I, as an American citizen, am 100% fully expected to abide by the laws that are set forth in my community and my state. It is an expectation. It is not an option. And should I choose to not go by those laws and I get caught by a law enforcement official, I get prosecuted. So, you tell me, what makes these illegal immigrants any better than me? That they should not be expected to abide by the law. I've heard other people say it, and I might sound like a parrot by saying it, but I don't give a damn. But if the very first action that a person takes when entering our country is to break the law by coming into the country illegally, which is breaking the law, they're a criminal. And that disqualifies them right off the bat to be a citizen. The point of migrating to this country is to obtain citizenship. Citizenship, not just to come in and invade and take up space and take a job that somebody else could use. For all I know, if every single, and I know there's got to be illegals here in the community that I live in. There has to be. I just don't know who they are. But think about this. Who's to say that if the illegals that are in this community were to leave and leave an empty job, maybe enough jobs would open up right here, just in this area, to get every single homeless person in this area a job so that they can get on their feet and be housed and start to take care of themselves once again. You ever thought of that? Maybe, maybe not. Well, I think about it. Who's to say that that guy out there living in a tent in between the hotels can't get a job because some illegal feather mucker think about it. You know what I'm saying. You ain't stupid. Here's my Romy baby dog. He's such a good boy. I'm such a good boy. Yes, he is. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. He's a good puppy dog. He's a good puppy dog. He's a good puppy, even though he's fat. No, he's not a hog. Even though sometimes he eats like a little piggy. Anyway, I'm going to hop off here. Talk to you some other time. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord look upon you and give you peace. Amen.